Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Lunch and Learn. We are now at May 16th. Oh my goodness. Half the year is almost gone, and I feel like we were just doing New Year's resolutions, right? And one of our company's New Year's resolutions since April is for us to have live events. So how many of you have had live events? Let's hear from you. I think Kathy probably has. I know Julianne has, and our special guest speaker has. So if you guys could just chime in really quickly, what kind of live events are you having? And then we'll get to Laura pretty quickly. Kathy, I'll call on you first. Janie, I know you've got
Well,
one lined up. I'll call on you second. Karen, I know you're busy, but I know you have an event soon.
last night we did a welcome and a launch call. So I drove down the mountain to go home, and I had two new partners meet me at my house so we could be on a Zoom with Jennifer and some other um, new prospects and new and representatives. So that was kind of fun. I just had a little small charcuterie board and some drinks, and me and these two new reps, a mother-daughter team, which I'm excited about. So I haven't had any that had 10 or more, but I've just had some coffee meets and some stuff like that that wasn't quite 10 people.
Right. And Kathy is on a lot of posters right now for the 90-day, or no, not 90-day, but the whole year Built to Last. She's doing really, really well. She's helping people move up. She's got 9 orders already this month. So Kathy Crispin is somebody to watch, and maybe we'll bring her on to get some further information. And I saw Christy Leclerc's she's also winning. Are you guys getting prize packs? Is that what's happening also, Kathy?
Um, I got a $300 bonus for the doing the Luminate
Oh,
as a launcher leader, one of those things.
I mean, isn't that
They
nice?
That was cool. I was in the grocery store, and corporate called me and said, "Oh, by the way," and I was like, "Oh, that's neat."
Little presents along the way. So with Travis as our new CEO and with people in different positions, maybe better positioned, there's so many more fun things to come, I think. So thank you, Kathy. And speaking of mother-daughter teams, I just want to introduce you to Julianne. She's a sideline buddy, and her and her mom did a sourdough party. And maybe you could just tell us how in the world you got some really good results on that. Julianne.
Sorry, I had to unmute. I was taking my son out of the stroller. So we had our first sourdough, I think about a month ago. We have our next one on Sunday. We're going to do 4 coming up because the first one was so successful. We had 4 people at the first one, including myself, because I was learning sourdough. So I guess we had 3 prospective customers, got 3 orders from it actually. And I think the sourdough is just such a fun thing. And it's like, you're inviting like-minded people, and it was just kind of like discussion based, and we were all just talking about health, and we brought up Juice Plus, and everyone was really excited about it. And I actually she has not quite signed up yet because she's had some life stuff going on, but I actually got a new representative signed up under me from the sourdough as well. So really successful event.
Perfect. I know you guys got a bunch of quad orders, I think I heard, right?
We got trios.
Or trios. Either way,
Yes.
awesome. And
Totally.
this was their first sourdough event. I'm gonna move on from you for now, Julianne, but when you get
Yeah,
back,
totally.
maybe we'll ask you some more questions. But I know Laura is gonna go meet her new partner that just happened over the weekend. So isn't it great? You guys are getting new partners, which adds excitement. And these are from live events. I love that the company's really wanting us to focus on live events, and they're rewarding us for that as well. I was blessed to be invited to Laura's live event, and she didn't even know that I was maybe going to be in my hometown. So I stayed an extra day, maybe day and a half, just to go to her live event, because my sister actually saw her post about the live event and said, yes. She says, are you going to Laura's event? I'm like, I guess so. Because because my sister has not been to any Juice Plus event. Hate to say that, but it's true. And then I had a reunion with somebody I worked with at Children's Diagnostic and Treatment Center 30, was it 30 years ago or 40 years, 30 years ago? That was crazy. One of my best friends at the workplace, and then also a customer that is in Ormond Beach. So thank you, Laura. And she had such a good turnout, just like you, Julianne, and got orders on the spot and made it really simple. So I wanted you guys to hear from Laura. And I do think, along with Julianne's mother, Karen Roche, that Laura has the gift of sharing her heart and her why and her emotions, that I think that came across. So I'm going to ask her to start with why are you sharing Juice Plus? And you know, why did it make sense to you however many years ago? Go ahead, Laura.
Hi, everybody. And I was blessed to have Sharon at my event. I mean, I'm so glad that she came, just having her expertise and her energy. And I was so glad to hear that it was her sister's first event. So that was awesome. My why is because I have a whole line of a disease in my family. I mean, from cancer, my mom, my dad, and my sister had cancer. Um, my mom has vascular dementia now, brain tumors, strokes, diabetes lead through the uncle and aunt side of the family. So I thought, what can I do to help myself and to help the next generations, my nieces and nephews that I see, following in the same paths and the habits. So I went back to school in 2018 to get my health coach certification through Dr. Sears. I know most of you know him. So we focus on lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition. But basically that's it. My goal, I think God put me on this earth to help people, and whether it's through just a lending ear or nutrition, I want to be there for people. So
Okay, so can you hear just kind of a little emotion in her voice when she shares that? I hope you guys can hear that. So one thing is to get to your why, and when you do have a live event, share that. Why you are going out of your way to invite people over to your house. Why is that important? Because I think it's good to set the stage as far as, so then it becomes more of a passion and more of a conviction of responsibility of why you're sharing this because of what journey you've been on, right, Laura?
yeah, and actually, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I had a mental block for a while because I didn't have like a story as far as Juice Plus, where like I felt the impact right away. You hear people say, "Oh, it changed my life." So I felt like I had to have a story like that. But just through being on Juice Plus, it'll be 2 years in June, and exposed to my family to it. I helped my sister with her blood pressure, weaned her off several pills. My niece is psoriasis that she's had since a little girl, and she's 33 now, but it just went away after like 6 to 8 months on that. And my nephew, who was in a horrific accident, we were able to put the protein shakes together and put the Juice Plus capsules in there, so he was able to get nutrition when he was drinking through, his mouth was wired shut. So I just turned to my family. I don't know why it never connected at first to share that, but I'm just thankful that God blessed me with Juice Plus community and Juice Plus, and I'm able to help. So,
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. Tell us about,
Congratulations. That's
oh, go
amazing,
ahead, Nalani.
Laura. Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you.
Nalani, actually, you guys might run into each other. She's in Lake Mary now, Nalani.
Yeah, Heathrow, Lake Mary.
Yeah. So
Okay, yeah.
you guys are
Mhm.
like,
Where are you, Laura?
I'm in Ormond Beach, Florida.
Oh, on the beach.
Yeah, so not even an hour probably to Lake Mary, since it's
Right,
on the
45 minutes. Yeah.
east side of Orlando. So
and there's some Orlando events too happening.
okay.
Okay, so tell us about your recent event, because I thought it was amazing. Like the flyer itself was attractive, because as I was talking to my friend Amanda, people like food. And I think also it had on there a little thing showing Luminate Margarita. So, anyway, so tell us about how you came up with that and also what you said or who you even picked to invite. I think that was important.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something everybody loved. I mean, and I love tacos, have Taco Tuesday quite a bit. So, and I don't think hadn't met anybody that didn't like tacos. So I did an invitation with Let's Talk About Health, Taco About Health. And then I also had a picture of that Luminate margarita that was out on the Juice Plus Hub. And of course, the picture of the taco, the margarita, and I did have, Juice Plus and Tower Garden at the bottom because I wanted to let people know I was going to highlight that. But for the first time ever, I did not go on social media and post it. Normally I do, but I'm like, I'm going to try this different. And I thought about my book club I'm in, the people I walk with, just people I've talked to about Juice Plus or Tower Garden before, but just never invited to an event. So I did personal text and just said, hope you can join me. Let's eat tacos, talk about health, and feel free to bring somebody. And since it was a big dinner, I didn't do this, but probably future events, I'll say if you bring as many people as you want and you get a raffle ticket for each person you bring, and I'll give the guest one too. And then we can do like a couple of giveaways. I think that encourages people to bring guests with them. But so I just made the tacos, but I did a revamp version. Being a Dr. Sears coach, he always tries to say revamp your recipes to a healthy version. So I use like all grain-free taco shells and gluten-free. Like if I did soft, I had a meat version, but with the sauce, the seasoning with no preservatives. And for the vegan people, I just doing some sweet potatoes and black beans because you can just make a plate easy with just, the rest of the toppings that you have. And it was in the evening, so I did just sample of the Luminant margaritas because it has the coffee berry in there. But I mean, everybody was willing to try. Everybody loved it, which is very surprised me. So it just goes to show we're told all the time, don't assume that, what people are going to like or don't like. So I also had, even though I was highlighting, as the Juice Plus essentials and the Luminate, I always have a table with all of our products on there because you never know what's going to pique people's interest. And sure enough, somebody goes, oh, I need some of these bars. So if I wouldn't have had them out, I may not have highlighted that on Tuesday because I just had too many other moving parts. So, I mean, that's the gist of what I did for the meal anyway.
Well,
So
let's say you were out on a walk with me. What did you say to me?
I would just say that I know you see my post on Tower Garden and Juice Plus all the time. Are you interested in coming over to learn more or just to look at my Tower Garden? And if they say yes, then I'd say, well, I'm hosting an event. I'll send you the info. So I mean, I really didn't even know the event. And even when I was at book club, I did the same thing. So I'm like, I'm thinking about having an event. Is anybody interested in coming over and learning more? And so that's sort of how I prefaced all of it. And I had enough interest where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move forward and send the invite.
Okay, so you felt out the situation first, and then you decided to bring it all together. And that was
Yes,
on what day of the week was that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, so it wasn't a Saturday or a Sunday. She put it on a Tuesday at 6. So that worked out, and we were done by 8 for sure. And people were getting order forms, and you got orders, right?
I did. I actually got 3 orders, and I'm meeting with a potential partner, which I think she's already said yes, but I'm not gonna, assume anything at this afternoon. But I've been praying for a partner, and she's the owner of a yoga studio, so very like-minded, similar interests. So I think that we're gonna work well together. So
Absolutely. I met her. She had that energy
yeah.
that calming energy, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have some questions you want to ask Laura?
I have a question.
Go for
Uh-huh.
it.
This one is kind of a silly question, but for an event like that where you're serving, sorry, my son's excited apparently. If you're hosting an event like that where you're serving everyone dinner, did you charge for the event, or how much did that end up costing you in the end?
I did not charge them for the event. But I mean, I probably could have charged $5 a person, but I'm into it to spread good health, but I might consider that in the future because I mean, anything to contribute, but I make tacos anyway, so I just tripled the amount I made. So I have all the products in the house. So that's why I said it was a good fit, because I do it all the time, make the healthy version, and so it's a matter of just buying, extra stuff. So
I think that's key, is to make it fit your lifestyle too. I'm sure, and I know you had leftovers. So that is one of the beauties of the business, is when you do have snacks or food that you provide, that is a write-off, for your taxes. It's a business expense. And I don't think we've charged for events until sourdough came along. It's
Mhm.
really just a business expense. It might be something you think about or whatever, and people probably wouldn't mind paying $5. She also was very generous, and I pointed out to them, I'm like, Laura's being very generous, because she gave them a sample of the chewables, she gave them a sample of the shake, to take with them, and also a sample of Illuminate, which is like, oh my gosh. That one's like, I want to hoard that one. So I was like, she's being very generous with you guys. And so they were just a great crowd. They did ask some really hard questions when I was in the front of the room. And tell them about what you decide to do as far as sharing Juice Plus. You first put it on the poster. This is what I tell people. Make sure it's throughout your time of your event. Put it on the poster, say it in the invite, put it in the skeleton of what you're doing, so they can learn there's a need, there's a health crisis, they need fruits and vegetables, here's a great solution, here's a simple solution, and then also give the order forms as I want to help get you started. So she did that. Let's hear how she did it.
Like she said, I did put it on my invitation, and I did send it out again that morning of, just to make sure, yeah, as a reminder, can't wait to see you. And this time I chose to just eat first, have drinks, and then, naturally just go in to watch the video. So we watched the Bridge the Gap video. I told my story, watched the Bridge the Gap, and then Sharon shared her story, and one of my friends that's been on Juice Plus for a while shared hers as well. And they did ask hard questions, and I have to say I am very grateful to Sharon for being there. I mean, I could answer them probably, but not with such, confidence and, I mean, assurance as she did. So I think she made a big impact too on my audience. I mean, I hosted the event, but I think it all comes together, and I appreciated that expertise. And like she said, I had samples of everything. I mean, if I'm going to have an event, I want everybody, and it was mostly new people, is why I did it. I wanted everybody to be exposed to all of our products, to see them, to taste them, to hear about them. And everybody took sample packets. And so, even if you didn't sign up today, down the road, they've tried it, they've heard about it, more events, talk about it more. And, eventually you might land more customers that you can help, or partners. So,
Sure.
and
Right.
I did want to add one thing I was thinking about Sharon and having her there. And I'm like, she can't be at every other event, but just to have like an expert like that. At one time I had a retreat, a wellness retreat I hosted, and I, didn't have anybody to support me. It's when I first started, but I did ask one of my uplines to do a video for me, a YouTube. So when I was highlighting the Juice Plus products, I, had a video from the expert. So if you're having an event that, maybe it's towards moms or towards whoever, just see if you can talk to your team, or, ask Sharon, who do you think could, really support this, and, do a short video for me. But I think it's always effective to hear from people. I've been here 2 years. I love the product just as much as, Sharon, but she's been there 25 years. She knows the ins of out and everything. And you just can't, you gotta take hold of that. And it's very helpful. So thanks again, Sharon.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
sure. And I don't want them to think they can't do it. So I'm glad you brought that up, but your upline leaders are definitely willing to zoom in
Yeah,
to your
yeah,
event,
they are.
and the questions I think you guys could have answered, everybody would answer it probably in a different way, but the one lady, she was just very bold. And I think she was just trying to make a decision, really, because she had seen the commercials on TV and she's like, it's kind of like, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And I'm not sure if she said that. She probably did. Anyway, but it was kind of like, how is this? And I think we've talked about that forever. Whenever I have had an event, I say there are thousands of nutritional supplements out there. How do you even know what makes Juice Plus different? And I did leave you guys a Voxer about my response that night because I was driving home. But always go back to Julie Herbst's training. 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 things that you talk about. Number 1, it's a food. It has a food label. It's not a vitamin. And you could even go into the explanation of vitamins versus whole foods. Number 2, it's NSF certified, which you don't know the things on the shelf or whatever, whether they're even safe. And you could go into that. But I really focused on the research and how there's no way this other product that pays $30,000 every time they make a testimonial that the FTC finds out that they don't have any research. So then I did go into the cardiovascular study because I just was on a roll, but it wasn't necessary. I just enjoy talking about that. But if I wasn't there, she had already shown the video. The people were already interested. She would have been fine. But she did have 2 stories, me and another person. So it's nice to have that backup to invite. That's why sideline buddies are great. And so there are some sideline buddies on here. And so it is good to invite some people that are not on your team, but they're passionate about Juice Plus to just be that amener. And we've heard that over and over in the past. So do you guys have any questions or you want to say anything to Laura? We'll let her go. She's going to go meet her new team member and sign her up today.
Yay, congratulations for your new team member. Laura, my question is, well, now you said you've been in the business for how long?
It'll be 2 years in June.
Okay. And so, and you are in Ormond and the people that your neighbors and all, they know you. So my question is, how did you promote this event and how many people did you get to the event? And how did you get people to know what you do if it's only been a year? Have you already been connected with a lot of people so you were able to say, oh, this is something new I'm doing? Or are you just starting fresh?
Well, I'm starting fresh. I mean, even the book club people didn't realize that this is what I did for a living, but they know I always talk and post about Tower Garden, Juice Plus, all that. So I have 12 people at the event, and I had mentioned that I didn't do it on social media this time. I just text individuals from groups I was associated with, asked them to invite people, and multiple people. I didn't mind. So I did end up with 13. So
Nice,
did
congratulations.
Right. The lady
Thank
who
you.
is becoming a partner wasn't somebody you invited.
Yes, I did. I wanted to point that out. Thank you,
Fun
Sharon.
fact,
The
fun
woman
fact.
that is going to cost my potential partner, one of my friends that I just walk with maybe once or twice a week. Like I said, extended it to bring people. She brought her yoga instructor. And so we hit it off immediately. And if I wouldn't have said, hey, bring people, then I probably wouldn't have, landed that. But I did, I still want to make sure every time that I have an event, which I didn't do again this time, but I want to do is say, if you know anybody I can help, let me know, pass their information to me and I'll pass it on, because it's always who knows who, and everybody knows somebody that's just wanting to be healthier, doing it for preventive, or heart, or dealing with something. So I am going to always try to remember to sort of close with that. So
One more quick question.
Mhm.
So you have done it on you said on social media. what kind of result do you get when you promote on social media for a specific event? And these are local groups, obviously, Facebook groups.
Right. I actually have not had much success on social media. That's why I decided to just take a different route. Not that I don't believe in social media, but I just feel like that one-on-one connection, especially with the audience that, I hang out here with, beachside, Ormond Beach. They're older, some are retired, and some of them don't even have social media. So even if I throw an event on Facebook and post about it and send invites, I just felt like by not having to take all that time to check back on social media, I could stay on top of the, 20 plus that I invited. And I mean, I may not do it the same way in the future, but for this time it really worked out. And I feel more comfortable with that too, because I feel like you get to engage with them better. And one-on-ones versus social media. And I mean, I know we need that platform and I'm not discouraging it, but
Right, right.
this time I was lucky it worked out.
It's that real connection, and it takes time to really get a real connection on social media. So I get it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any last words or
You.
questions?
I want to drill down a little bit on this whole inviting people to invite a friend, because my mind's just blown right now, because that's kind of like how we do our whole business model, but I never really thought to just like to do that. So what is the verbiage? Like, let's say you invite me, like what would you say to me to encourage me to and bring a friend?
Oh, I would just say, hey, feel free to, bring a friend, anybody, just somebody you want to bring or somebody that you think that I could help. And like I said, I might go on to say next time, for anybody you bring, I'll enter you in for a raffle for a great door prize. And, everybody would get one, but if you bring 3 guests, then you're going to get 3, raffle tickets. But
Mm.
I'm comfortable with just saying, bring people, the more the merrier. I'm spreading good health,
I want to point out something that we hear from Laura, that sometimes we do an event or something and we're thinking about like, how many customers are we going to get? How much money are we going to make off of the fee for the taco night we're teaching or whatever, and all these other things. Whereas Laura kind of said, well, maybe I could charge $5, but I'm making tacos anyway. And it's basically, she said her mission is to help people. And then when you hear her verbiage of how to invite, I'm thinking real technical, like, what can I say to like make this happen? She's just like, I just said, hey, Doug, you can feel free to invite a friend. It's like very just natural with a good heart. And I guess my point is sometimes we overthink things, and when it can just be like, hey, what if you just like were helpful and cared about people and loved people? And that's what I see coming from Laura. So excellent example. And your house looks awesome. I enjoyed touring it that one time.
Thank you. And I will say one more thing to that, if you don't mind, that I do it because I care about people, but I think of it too as a business. Like you said, this is our business, and every business out there puts money in to make money back. They don't ask their customers for money for their commercial they're going to show or for an event they're going to host or whatever. So I think of it in that respect as well. That way it puts it in perspective for me, maybe the technical money minded side of people. I mean, if you think of it in that regard, it'll help. So, but thank you guys. I appreciate you letting me share with you today, and have a good day, and go Juice Plus.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
No juice
Thanks.
plus. Okay, so Julianne said, I just want to put out there, I wasn't asking about charging to make a profit or be stingy, just not in a financial position where I can be financially generous. I understand that. I think that's not.
Oh, I understand it too. I didn't even hear
Totally.
you say something like that, Julianne. So, no, I wasn't referring to you at all. I'm just referring in general. Like, she had a great heart, and I think it encouraged me. So hopefully it
Yeah.
encouraged you guys too.
Sorry, Julianne. No,
Sorry, I was chewing lunch. I didn't mean that to be like any certain way either. I just wanted to make sure people knew where I was coming from with that. So that was all.
yeah, well, I loved, you can comment on this, Julian. When I went to her and her mom's pajama regional. And they made very simple items for people to have. And you want to tell them what they were, Julianne? Because some of them were even brought by other teams. So I think your mom just was the picture of simplicity in that event.
She is. We try to be really simple just because I feel like the other piece of that is we always want to make sure that people feel like it's duplicatable because we don't want someone to show up and be like, wow, this is amazing, but I could never do this myself. So we try to really focus on simple things. For the pajama regional, we got wraps from True Food Kitchen, which that is actually a pricier option, but we were trying to be easy. And then we just made protein balls, and then someone had brought hummus and banana bread. So that was actually from someone else. But we just try to do really simple food that goes along with the theme. Like for the sourdough this weekend, we're actually going to do herbed butter and a loaf of bread. And then we're going to do protein balls. And then we're debating between doing like a chickpea salad, which I'm actually eating right now, or making smoothies. So just keeping it simple so that people feel like it's duplicatable is kind of
Okay.
our goal.
Well, we want the recipe for the chickpea salad, please, in the chat.
Okay.
And
I'll take a
I
look at
meant
that.
to ask Amanda, I forgot to tell you guys, she had the most awesome, I can't even explain what it was. It wasn't a smoothie, but it was a drink, the margarita illuminate she gave later, but it was like a strawberry daiquiri, which she made with frozen strawberries, frozen peaches, apple juice that was not sweetened, which I'm not sure if I've had that ever. I don't know, it seems really sweet, but it didn't come across as too sweet when I had it. And then coconut water, and then lime, I think lime, and it tasted really good. And then there was also a thing of margaritas, which I didn't know existed, which was good because I had to drive later. I found out when I was like, oh, can I take that for my drive? They're like, no. So then they also had wine. So my sister was very happy with that setup. And anyway, so that is a possibility. Go ahead, Melissa.
I just wanted to go back to the friend thing and then comment on what Julianne said too. I've done that before with people where I feel like they could be awkward or they don't know anybody else coming, like, hey, bring a friend, bring your spouse. For the potluck we did Tuesday, I was like, I don't care, bring your family, because I knew somebody had to bring their kids. So then I was like, whatever, just bring your kids. But I think I'll just put it as my verbiage now for everybody. Like, why would I only ask some of my invitees? And then like we did a potluck Tuesday because I'm like Julianne, like Jen and I are thrifty and it's just the way we grew up. But I always put out more than what people are bringing, but you could kind of make it like a salad in a jar, like anything you do. Like you could have tacos and been like, okay, you're bringing tomatoes, you're bringing avocados. Oh wait, she said something else about keeping it simple. I think I even heard Amy Getz say this, like, I go through this guilt of like that I'm only serving people water. And I'm like, well, too bad, we're having water. And then I put lemons in one water on Tuesday and then cucumbers and limes in the other one. But then I was laughing because the party ended up really small and it was just my family and one other person. So I called my mom and I was like, can you bring some wine? Because it's just us. So we're going to have wine. So like sometimes we'll do that. I think like our evening sourdoughs, afternoon sourdoughs we did, but that's all. Great
Thank you,
ideas.
Melissa. Awesome. Anything more you guys want to say about events? We're going to switch gears. Anybody else? Okay. And well, actually, I want to mention because Amanda's on here. Amanda, I don't know if you want to show your face, but we were talking about, I said, I really want to support you in your business. And I see you at pickleball, but sometimes we don't even have time to talk. And so we ended up coming up with an event for Saturday. And it was Amanda's idea. She's like, well, Why don't we just do one before the, is it Memorial Day weekend that's coming up? And everybody's gonna be here, there and everywhere and all that. And she said, you know, we can talk to Tony about his health at pickleball, but once they say there's a game available, Tony's out, you know, and that's the same with all of us. We just wanna go play. So to capture people's attention and to bring your conversations together and to really focus them in on what, you know, what are they going to do for their health? An event is a great way to do that, a great follow-up and a great way to actually help people transform their lives. So I wanted to mention that. And you will be able to get to, you know, third-party validation with some other people that you may not know, or invite sidelines to be that third-party validation for you. So I can't say enough about having live events. We're going to switch gears. Stacey, I'm sorry it took so long for me to get to you, but also I do want you to talk about your taco party, talk about health. I think you started one too, and maybe just comment on anything you heard that you wanted to probably comment on. But we're going to just talk through the first couple positions in the company, because I know that people are signing up new people, and it's important for them to kind of have a bigger picture of how they can move up to the first commission level, and then the second, and then the third one gets a little more complicated. We can give a quick overview of that as well. And so I've been looking at different things on the hub. There is something, but also Stacey just makes it really simple with the sticky notes. So Stacey, go ahead. I've given you lots of things to talk about now. So pick whatever you want to talk about and I'll be quiet.
Okay, thanks, Sharon. And I hope I don't lose signal. We are really driving always in the middle of New Mexico, nothing. So I do want to just add, you can do taco soup, and that can feed a lot of people for not very much money. And one of the girls suggested having somebody bring, you know, shredded cheese, somebody bring sour cream, somebody bring guacamole. Like, you can have people pitch in, and then if they, like, a guest will say, can I bring anything? Always say yes, and just find something, a case of water, you know, whatever it is, because if they are bringing something, they're less likely to back out, because they're like, no, I said I would bring the cheese. I've got to bring that. So that is one way that you can just make sure that they actually come. And like I said, taco soup will feed a ton of people. So you could do, you know, a whole crock pot of it, and it's not expensive. And that seems pretty duplicatable too. But we do street taco events. I don't know why you say street taco and it makes a difference, because it's just a little tortilla instead of a big one. I don't know, it works, so we just keep doing it. But you know, sometimes we'll have a few people and sometimes we'll have a whole room full. I did one Tuesday night, and I had me, my mom's friend, and my mom at her house. There were other people interested, so of course I wrote down their names when I'm inviting. You know, I write down the people. If they say they're interested but can't come, I underline their name. If they come, I highlight them. And that's in my planner where I'm tracking those conversations, the DMO planner. So then when I go back to invite in that area again, because it was in a different town, I go back to that event in my planner, and then those are the people I'm going to invite first. Those that were interested but couldn't come, that's who I keep the conversation going with. And so that's an easy one. I also was able to send them the link to the video we were going to watch at the event. So if they couldn't come, I asked them, you know, would you like me to send you the recording if I get it? Well, I already had it, but they were like, yes, please. So that gives me another reason to follow up in between my next event, because it could be a while before I go back down there for an event. So at least I got the event to them. So that's like a watch party idea connected to a taco event night. And then I have one tonight. So same thing, I'll be reminding people today. I've already written down people's names that were interested. And that's, you know, that's always easy to build the next event when you already have a list going of people. And when you're talking about getting to promotions, like, events are what bring people to that. You know, you have conversations with people. So when somebody tells me, yeah, I don't mind mentioning Juice Plus, you know, I'm not going to really sell it, but I'll tell people about it. I know they will never get even one customer. I mean, maybe one in 20 years. I'm not joking, because it just doesn't work that way. We have tons of conversations with people
that are not going to turn into an order or them really understanding the information, because we can only do so much education with them in a very short conversation. There's a process that happens when we, find their need. We start the conversation, we listen for the need, we ask questions, we offer Juice Plus as a possible solution to them, and then you have to connect them to a resource. If you're not connecting them to a resource with either a video or an event, you lose them, and it goes back and forth. Did you watch the video? No. Did you watch the video? No. Did you watch the video? No. Okay, I can keep asking that 1,000 times. I'm just going to annoy myself too. Or I can start inviting them to an event. So an event gives you a way to bring those conversations you're having into another, like, now you start gathering them together. If they hear other people's stories and you pass out the order forms, like, that's where you get the orders. It just most of the time doesn't happen with just a casual conversation with someone. It's got to be like, there's a process. This is a franchise. We have a system in place, and that events are part of that system. And so when I'm looking at this sticky note sheet that I'm going to get to, like, I find I filled that out. Every one of them came from an event that I had. So sometimes you have 3, like I had last night. I mean, counting myself, or Tuesday night. And then the last time we did the taco night, we had 25 in my house. It was packed, and it just happened to be a good night. We all were able to invite. We got customers and team members. Like, you just don't know, but you have to put it on the calendar and you just keep inviting. So when we're talking about getting people to promotions, I love to use the sticky note sheet as, like, really the only tool I use to explain the business, because I do like this new one that we have, and I've used it, but it goes into a lot more detail than I think honestly most people know. And so if you're going to pick 2 pages to talk about, I would do the first page where it kind of has the stair step, and then the last page with what earning they can get to. The inside, it's just a lot of detail that I found kind of people's eyes gloss over. But when I use the sticky note sheet, it's so simple to explain it. I'm able to just quickly walk through it and then go back to what's their first goal. So the details of the promotion are also on here. You've got some of the basic points there on the bottom. And then I like to have the full chart of all the points on the back, so we can flip over and they can see that. So I can show the difference between what they would get in sales profit as a partner and a difference between sales profit plus commission as a QSC, and just saying, I want to help you get the most money back. And so just describing getting to partner plus is 3 trio orders. That's the first 3 boxes on the top, and explaining you can use any points, but I'm just going to use trios as an example because it keeps it simple. So we have those 3 trios orders, and then start moving on to 9 more trio orders. You need 1 partner plus, that's the light purple box. So you just teach somebody to do what you just did with your first 3, and then together you guys fill in the next dark purple boxes. And so most of the time they're like, oh, okay, I could do that. And then I say, now you're a QSC. Along the way, I'm telling them what they're going to get for title rewards and that sort of thing. And then to explain getting to sales coordinator, just say, do this page with 2 more people. Like, that's going to set them up actually for QSSC, but like, that's an easy way because it's going to help them also get qualified. They have to have a PV qualified business to be a sales coordinator. So it's going to get them more customers, more team members. It's going to take more than 2 people to get to sales coordinator, because not everybody's going to do this. But the idea, the just most simple way to say, okay, you fill this out with you and your new partners, and then you do that with, you help them fill this out, and then you also get the bonuses, and you can explain that as well. But you can fold the paper to where it's just the first 3 boxes that they see, and then move on to QSC as you explain it.
Okay,
But,
so I'm new, Stacey, and I'm meeting with you, and you've got your little sheet. Show me what I'm doing. Just the first part.
okay, so you're looking at 3 trio orders.
You
or
want to
2
put it in
quads
half?
of the
Let's
shake.
do it in half, Stace.
Fold it in half.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Stacy's driving.
No, she's not.
No, Jared's driving. Jared,
I would
Oh,
not,
Sharon,
I would not
Bob,
call
I've
on
heard.
her Milani,
Probably just her.
I would not call on her.
All this time, I thought she was doing this with one hand. I was
Okay,
saying,
we
wow.
should definitely,
No,
Multitasker.
I probably could do it, but that's. fine.
she definitely could, but no, we don't want to do that.
Okay, so you could just fold it this way and like that's all they see at first. And then just talk about 3 trio orders. So each one is worth 300 points, 3, 6, 9. So your order, your husband's order, and your sister's order, or whoever it is that they've already talked to about it, right? So then you've got the explanation here of what they're going to get when they do that. And so then they get the the title reward, and you say, and I get the same title reward. So we're going to do this together. The company knows it takes, us partnering together to make this happen. That's why it's called partner. And we're going to do it together. And, don't think you're going to waste my time or be afraid to use my time. Like, the company's paying me to help you. So let's do it. So and you give them a target date. So try to get it done in their first 10 days. If you want to do it in one day, like when they're very first signing up, if they order 2 quads and a shake, that's the points. So their order, their husband's order, and then their shake order for their family, that's enough points to get them to QSE. So if you see someone ordering 2 quads, why would you not have the conversation with them about partnering with us? Even if they aren't sure that they want to share with other people, it's the right thing to do to let them know they could get money back, but also breathe a vision into them that they've got possibilities and they can make some income. You really don't know where somebody's at with that, where they might be like, that's exactly what I've been looking for. Or they have a good experience and in 4 months later, they really decide, okay, I'm going to take off and I'm going to fill out the rest of the sheet.
Okay,
But
let's go to Julianne for a second.
okay,
I just want to make sure everybody's understanding and not getting overwhelmed, and it's good. Thank you, Stace. Go ahead, Julianne.
Question. I know, so I know that the 3 trios gets them to the first promotion. But I thought I heard you say that 2 quads and the shake gets them to QSC. Is that after the 3 trios or is that right off the bat?
I misspoke. I'm sorry, partner.
Okay, I was like, wait, really?
Sorry.
Okay, so we had a clarification. I didn't even catch that. Thank you, Julianne.
Okay.
Awesome. So we're just getting to
sorry,
partner
what did
plus
you-
right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
give them the vision from the conversation you've already had with them. You mentioned your mom, you mentioned whatever. So before as I'm inviting them to the team to partner with us, I would, in asking lots of questions, let's say one of them was like, this would be so good for my mom. She would really benefit from this. Or I would ask, is there anyone in your life that you think could benefit from more fruits and veggies? Like, just that Juice Plus would make sense to them. And so they're like, yeah, I think my sister would like this. My niece is a picky eater. I have a neighbor, something like, get them to think of a couple of people. And then I often say, you know what, you might want to do what I do. I pay $52 a year, and then my orders are underneath myself. I manage my own orders. I get some money back on my own orders. And then if I share with anyone, then they order from me. And I said, what's the likelihood that your mother's going to order from me? She doesn't know me, but she knows you and she trusts you. I can see her ordering from you more than somebody else, just like my mom and my sister ordered from me. They may not have ordered from Sharon because they didn't know her. And so that's one of the verbiage I use. Maybe you want to do like I do. Maybe this would be of interest to you too. You should do what I do. Or this is what I do. And then it's not like I'm leaving it at that and that's all they know. I'm always breathing a little bit more vision, giving them a little bit more that they can take. But if I start talking about, this being full-time income and quitting a job and making $50,000 a year, like, it doesn't apply to them. They can't even imagine that. Like, that's not helpful into the conversation. So you're matching the need they've shared, even if it's the need of other people in their life, with what you have to offer with being a partner.
Okay, so I've decided to order the trio and the shake, and Doug's gonna get the trio.
Okay, so that's 300, 600, 740 points, and we need 900 points. So I would subtract it out. So 900 minus 740. So what
what order would take up that space. They could do Illuminate, they could do another Omega order, they could have some, like with their parent want to do a duo order. So try to help them see what do you need left. And sometimes you can get them to where they're like, oh, well, actually, I do want to do the Omegas. And so then they change both the trios to a quad and now you're there. So
Okay.
that can happen sometimes too.
So now I want to move to QSC. What are your best tips and explain? So I've got my own little personal orders. I'm excited. What am I going to do now?
Okay, so you've got a couple of options. You can invite 3 people in your life to partner with you and do what you just did. So they see that's possible with their own family's orders. Can you think of 3 families that would like to get started that we're going to do the exact same thing with them? And if they're like, I mean, that goes super fast, guys. If you have 3 partners that get to Partner Plus, you can definitely fill out this sheet in less than, a month, less than 30 days. So I always tell them that, like, it goes super fast with 3 people. You could do that quick. Like, we've had people do it in as fast as 7 days before, because they're just sharing with 3 people that get their whole family on Juice Plus that ordered what you just ordered, especially if they're doing quads and a shape order. So, that's one option. And then I'll say, but you do need one person that gets to Partner Plus. That's the purple, light purple. So who do you think would be most likely to order for their whole family, or even start thinking about sharing with somebody else? So I'm starting to breathe vision into them, helping them start seeing about building a team, right? Like, we can get a bunch of customers, but team members really eventually is where our paycheck grows. So they say, okay, I think my, sister might want to partner with me, or they're starting to think of other people. So I don't want to send them out to go talk to 12 people on your own with very little experience and little knowledge, and go ahead and go get those people and see how well those conversations go. Guys, they're not going to be great. Like, very few people are able to just have enough clout and confidence that they can have conversations and get orders. It just doesn't happen that way. We've got to help them think through who would they like to share with, and then let's help give them like verbiage for each of those people. Okay, you mentioned your sister. Why do you think that this would be of interest to her? What's going on in her life and her kid's life? Let's work on some verbiage that you can send her to see if she's open to watching a video, and or just start the conversation. It's a little bit different when it's warm market right at the beginning, their mom, their sister, their best friend. Sometimes those people are like, hey, let's just do this together. I'm starting this. I think it'll make sense to you. We've been talking about making health changes. And then you've got to do events with them. It's very difficult to fill this out without events. Some sort of a launch call, an event in person. Like, you're the one, just like Laura was talking about, that's building the belief of the people that are there, that these new people just may not have that. I didn't have that with Sharon. When I first started, I was talking to a lot of people. I had a lot of connections, but I was 23. Most of my friends were like 12 years older than me. I was a young person living in a very adult world. And like, they knew I didn't have any knowledge on nutrition. Like, I was not that before. So now I'm just this expert on nutrition. Like, I wasn't. So I'm having these conversations, but nobody was ordering until I brought them together with Sharon at an event. And then, but it did take me having the conversations. And then I started bringing them in, and the event is what built the belief. And Sharon did know how to ask for the sale. She did know how to do a, confident close that got them to order. And that's how we made QSC in less than 2 months, even though I don't want to say I wasted weeks, but I was just trying to do it on my own. And I did go out and I did try, and I did have conversations. I did pass out, I did send people the information in the videos, but bringing them together with an event where Sharon's confidence built mine and theirs, that's where pieces fell into place. So if we're not doing that for our new teams, we're just leaving them to try to do this on their own. It's just not going to happen. It's okay that it doesn't work that way. That's why the company gives you the sponsor bonus. Like, why do you think they do that? you're going to have to work for it. And you're probably going to have to work even more than that new person does, because you're guiding them on the conversations and starting it and bringing them back together and bringing the event together and how to invite to it and what to serve. Like, it takes a lot to get them started. The company knows that. That's why they pay you.
So let me tell you what Jerry Waits, my business partner from Memphis, said about Stacey when she first came along in my life. He said, "You're going to need to hold her hand. She's going to have some disappointments and some no's because she's out there talking to people and she's new. So you got to be there for her." So remember that with your new people, you definitely have to be there. And it was a good reminder. I remember that, like, before we got on here or last night, I forget, but you know, that's the truth. If you want, you know, it built, you have to help them get customers, help them get team. And that's really good, Stacey. Thank you. And so those sheets are on boards. And I like the idea of having a copy, you know, and you can even send it to some place to get the front and the back. And Stacey, I could see maybe you even sharing that at the end of an event that went well, and maybe people are interested in sharing with their family, for you to whip out that thing, put it half maybe, so it doesn't look overwhelming to them, and say, look, you just get 3 orders, you got $100, you got a sample box. You're gonna get money back on your own product. And then if you decide to tell 3 friends and they get their families on it, you're gonna then have $400. If you do it, you know, quicker, or 300 if you do it a little later. You'll have, you know, the 2 commission levels. Go ahead, Nalani.
I just have a question for Stacey about, I have your boards, Stacey, and I wanted to know, how can we simply print out just the, you know, print that out, just the sticky note page? Because I have everything here where it says send a video and track your progress, and that's that whole line of good steps to do. Where do we go specifically just for those sticky note pages? I know you have them in your book as well, but for those who don't have your book.
Yeah, it's not in the DMO planner, but you can find it on the Campbell team boards.
Oh,
And I think yeah.
I put a direct link to
Yeah.
it in the chat.
yay.
That'll
Thank
take you directly to the Campbell team board that has these. I believe the one she's looking at is probably the QSC.
Ah, it's in the Campbell team board though.
T
Okay.
plus the QSC. Guys,
And-
this is this Lunch and Learn has the potential to really impact your business. I mean, they all do, but this in particular has a great new event idea. I mean, who could just go create a taco event right now? Why not? Get a little crazy and start asking people to invite their friends too to your events. And the tracking form, you know, to see, I mean, the best kind of leadership is leadership by example. And the fact that a national marketing director actually has the paper printed out and it's kind of wrinkled up and written on it, and it says Stacey April. I mean, she actually uses this. It's not like she goes on boards and just does a bunch of lip service. She is working the business. And in order to work the business, I know, like, we like to sign up for workshops with Kristen Boss and all this stuff. All you need is boards and to really do the work. Okay, it's not whether or not the business works or what Kristen Boss tell you work. The business works. We gotta work. If we work, things will happen. So, Stacey, thank you so much for that example and that reminder, because my mind is just blown on this whole Lunch and Learn. It's a great one. Probably because I illuminated.
You're welcome,
I illuminated it like in a week, and now I'm like extra like, wah!
I was just like, those of us that have been in the business, just like Doug said, print it off for yourself. And then, like, I just as I get an order, I write that order in. And sometimes we think like we're doing all these events and you're like, it's not working. I'm not getting the orders. I don't have somebody who's gotten to sales coordinator in a year, whatever it is. But if you're not tracking, if you're only tracking conversations and you never track the results, then it just can feel like you're talking to way more people and you're not building traction. But when you see the results come in and you're tracking that as well, for one thing, it's proof that this is possible. QSC in less than a month is possible.
So Stacey, what you're
Like
doing basically is you're working yourself to go to from Partner Plus to QSC every month.
every month or every 2 months. I will give myself 60 days, but I don't like to. I want to do it in a
I
month.
mean, that is just such a simple, and I guess it's kind of like the 5-1. If we keep doing that, by the very nature, she's going to be getting orders. She's going to bring on new team. She's going to help those new team progress. I mean, this is great. I love it.
And then, I mean, when I look at these numbers, like who it was, we did an overnight oats event, and I got one Luminate order. I got a Tower Garden lead order. I ordered Luminate. And then the taco night where we had 25 people. This gal, I have spoken to her and her husband for a year and a half. They came, they ordered everything. So she became my partner plus. And then I did a sourdough event, and that's where 2 of the quad orders came from. One of the Alabama events I did, I got 1 order from that. Like, so the next 3, it's less than 900 points that I have left, and I want to get this done. Like, it's not going to be okay in my mind until those boxes are filled out, because I know I can do it. And then when I have it done, it builds my confidence, and it will you guys too. You know how to get somebody to QSC. You know the level of activity it's going to take, the number of conversations it's going to take. Like, I can show somebody how to get to QSC because I just did it this month and last month and the month before and the month before. It is doable. So if my confidence is there, if you haven't, helped somebody to QSC recently, you may think nobody can get to QSC. It's impossible. But if you do it yourself, you're like, I can do this. You can do this. This is what I did to get this done. Let's do this with you. But to me, that it keeps me in the game enough that I do know how to lead someone to that point when you find somebody who really does want to do it.
Okay, wow, I was just about to ask Doug if he could make it so that the price and earnings guide is on the back of the sticky note, and then we can all just get it printed. I don't know, that would be nice.
Yes, I will.
He has to do
I'll
that.
create a PDF so it's easier to print as well. Because
Okay.
Nalani, when you go into the Campbell team, I believe that's going to be a graphic.
Just
Which,
downloaded it.
okay,
Okay,
but
good.
still can create some slight issues in printing and whatnot. What depends on how you're set up.
Yeah, I put it in Word.
Oh yeah, just copy the picture into Word, then print the Word. Yes, smart girl. Here we
Look at
go.
Nalani, awesome. Okay, we better say goodbye. I know we've gone a little over time, but
We went
wow.
over.
Wow, I have this on
Okay.
recording. I'm gonna put it on Team Transformers YouTube. Gonna put it in the Voxer chat. Thank you guys for being on
All
here.
right.
Spread
Thank
the word
you.
about this and everything else. Bye.
If you're thinking
Thank
about
you,
doing,
Stacey.
don't end it, Sharon. I have to
Oh.
meet with Janie on here now.
Oh, I'm good.
I'll stop the stream.
Yeah.
But if you guys, anybody that wants to learn about sourdough events, Janie and I are doing one on Zoom tomorrow. I'm zooming in to lead it, but we're gonna just work out a little strategy. If you're curious about that, you're welcome to stay on.